To Lunch with Jewel. This is Jewel Leonard, and I help solopreneurs and creatives to show up big and connect with their people. Today, we're going to talk about growth, and the challenge of growing as a business owner, an entrepreneur. And I see both sides of this issue, and it's a big one. And I don't really have an answer for it. You just have to work through it as best you can. I have several tips and recommendations, but you know what? Every business owner has to focus on this, and that is help. Getting people to help you, employees slash partners slash workers, because if you grow, so the first period of as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you're just testing out the waters. You're just figuring out. You're trying to figure out the processes. You're kind of trying to figure out how to get things done, how to get customers. You're still not sure. You're seeing how viable your product is and things like that. But once you move, I'm gonna call that like phase two. But phase two, when you get into phase two, it's kind of like you know that your dog will hunt. You know that you have a good idea. You know you've been proven, you've got customers, and so you understand that what you offer has value. And inevitably, you're going to have help. You need people to help you to do things. I am I focus on automation for a reason, and that is because I want to have as little hands on as possible. Right. So it's a lot of building and work that you do in the beginning. And then once something is automated, you can just kind of let it, you can never really take your hands off anything. You always need to be growing, innovating, improving all along the way. But you're not as hands-on as you might need to be without systems and processes, right? And so I know I'm getting to that point where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to get somebody to help me. And this is the challenge. The number one challenge facing your business as you grow is not necessarily getting help. You may find that there'll be a lot of people who will want to help you. If you have a valid business product or service, and people believe that it has the potential to be successful, you'll get plenty of people who want to help you. You'll get plenty of people who want to jump on board your success train and help you. The challenge is, and feel free to share this with your employees if you have them. The challenge is that people don't understand how to help you. And so they think help means to do whatever they think that they see that needs to be done. And so what that does, though, is that's going to throw you off completely. Because as an entrepreneur, you just need people to do what you ask them to do. That's it. And here's what they won't understand. They won't understand this is that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, when you pull someone in to help you, you have a specific task in mind. You have a specific objective that you need to complete. And so you're going to give them as much direction as you can, but you have an objective you want to complete. And every single time somebody interjects their own way to do things without connecting with you, it adds a level of risk to reaching the outcome. This is what people don't understand. So they figure, oh, well, you're a solopreneur. Okay, I'm here. I'm helping you. It's going to be great. I saw you needed to do this. Oh, I saw you needed to do that. So I just did it for you. But you don't have any idea about all of the other things that are going on with the entrepreneur behind the scenes. The person that's coming in to help you, they don't see what you're dealing with. They don't see, the meetings that you've had. They don't see the product issues that you may have had. They don't see, distribution issues that you may have. They just see their one little piece. And so they think they're helping you, but they hurting, because for every time you have someone that does something that you don't need them to do, then now you've got to get involved in yet another thing to straighten out what you needed them to do, that they added complexity to because they didn't do what they asked you to do. Now, as an entrepreneur, I know that I have a responsibility to provide the basic guidelines on how someone is to help me, right? I need to be fair. I need to help you to understand exactly what I need you to do. and how I need you to do it. I need that. And you may even have some great ideas, and I need to be open to receive your great ideas. But I need you to stick to the script. I need you to do what I asked you to do the way I asked you to do it, because the way I asked you to do it, there was a purpose behind it. There was a reason behind it. And as an entrepreneur, I don't have a whole lot of time to rework and redo. The whole reason why I reached out for help to begin with is because I didn't have time. And so if I have to now take time that I had to fix something that happened because you didn't do something the right way, okay, now I'm behind. I'm negative. I'm moving backward instead of forward, right? And so I think as an entrepreneur, I've got to take on the responsibility to make sure that I'm very specific, that I'm giving people the guidelines, exactly what they need to do, okay? And that I let them know that I do value your input, but I just need to know, I need to let you know how to communicate that input and how important it is for you to do exactly what I want to do. Now, if I do all that and you still do what you do, then I can't work with you. I used to wonder. I was in corporate America for almost 20 years before I started my agency. And I used to wonder why it was that sometimes I've been through several layoffs and things like that. And I would always wonder, like, how companies decided on who to keep and who not to keep. Sometimes I would look and I'd be like, wow, I wonder why they let that person go. Like, they were really sharp and they seem very enthusiastic and professional and blah, blah, blah. Why did they let that person go? And they left this person over here, which, man, they're pretty lackluster. And I mean, they get the job done, but they're not really, they don't really seem like star quality material to me. And now I understand. It's because when you take a job, whether it's a volunteer job or it's a paid position, when you take a job, you take the job to accomplish a specific thing. The person hires you because they need help to do a thing, right? And they hire you specifically because they believe that you have the capability and the skill, the mindset, and most importantly, the fit, the personality to be a good fit to get the thing done, right? But if you're a person that can't be, if you can't be trusted, in the sense, not to say, not trusted like, oh, you're a bad person, but not trusted to do what you've been asked to do in the way you've been asked to do it, and to understand the protocol to do something differently if you have a great idea, then you're a risk. It's a risk. I can't afford to have you in my business because I need to move. I need to grow. I need to have, gain momentum. And I cannot afford to have someone who is kind of like a rogue cowboy or cowgirl, and they're just going to do their own thing regardless of the guidance and direction that I give them. Right. So I used to always wonder, like, why did they keep that person and let that person go? I don't understand. And now that I am in the shoes and I'm talking to other people who are in the shoes, I completely get it. I didn't get it before, but I completely get it. So this is kind of like a hard conversation, Lunch with Jewel, but I think it's important because I think we all want to help each other, right? And the challenge is that there are a lot of people who want to help because they just want to be a part of your thing, right? But they want to do just enough work to help, but they don't want to do too much, and they want to leave the thumbprint so they can say they helped you, right? It's like, oh yeah, I was there when they did that, right? And so to do something exactly the way you asked them to do it, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's not really me. And to those people, I say, look, if you want to do things your own way, you got to do your own thing. It's like there was the quote that was going around. It was like, everybody want to be a boss, but they don't want to do what bosses do. Everybody wants to, be a part of the big thing that's happening, but they don't want to put in the work and the elbow grease and the obedience. Really, everybody hates that word obedience. You get married and they say, oh, love, honor, and obey. Nobody likes that word. But the truth is that you need obedience. And some people, in some way, everybody has to be obedient. I have to be obedient to myself. I have to have integrity with myself on what I say I'm going to do. I have to have integrity with myself, my customers, people that work with me, my family. Okay. That's just another form of obedience. So it's like you have to have a certain level of that. And if you don't like it, You could go ahead and do your own thing, but what you're gonna find is you're gonna have to be obedient to somebody. You're gonna be obedient to your customers, be obedient to regulators, obedient to government officials. Like at the end of the day, you cannot get around it unless I don't know, until you dissipate back into your ethereal self. You are going to be accountable to somebody. So anyway, I digress. I just wanted to share that because I was thinking about it. I have some friends who are kind of going through it, and so I just wanted to share that. If you want to help, so I'm going to talk to my entrepreneur first, and I'm going to say, listen, you got to make sure that your person knows exactly what they need to do, and you give them specific guidelines, and then you got to be willing to make the cut. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, especially if you're looking for volunteers, you you need help. And when you find someone that's willing, you want so bad for it to work. You want it to go well. You need them. You need them. And so you put up with the BS a lot longer than you should, because what I found is most people, actually probably by the time you get to be 7 years old, you're going to decide whether you're going to do what you're asked to do or you're not going to do it. And so you spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of frustration repeating yourself and going over and over things with people that just are not going to change, right? And so you have to promise yourself to set some type of threshold. Maybe it's 3 times and you're out. Works for baseball. Maybe it'll work for you. And where you just say, look, this is what I need to have. And if I don't get it, then you got to get off the bus and I got to find somebody else. Because every minute that you spend reiterating, repeating yourself and redoing it, having the conversation, not only does it take a toll on you time-wise, it also takes a toll on your energy. It takes a toll on your effectiveness. Okay, all of that. So you're just going to have to make the cut and let the people go. Then I'm going to talk to my volunteers or my employees. Listen, guys, if you're hired on by somebody to help them, then the way you help them is to do what they ask you to do. Just do what they asked you to do. And don't do it in a asylum. Like, there's nothing wrong with having great ideas, but there has to be a mechanism to share good ideas. So for example, a great conversation to have would be like, okay, cool. Ask all the questions that you have when you're being given the instruction. Okay. And then one of your final questions is, okay, cool. This looks pretty good to me. I'm willing to do exactly as you want me to do it. But listen, if I have a new idea or idea about how to do this better, how do you want me to communicate that to you? Do you, and then do I have a certain level of autonomy to go ahead and make changes, or do you want me to check in with you first, or do you want me to just stick to this no matter what? Have that conversation up front, because that way, one, the person that's hiring you knows that, hey, you're out there and you're willing, you're part of the team, you want to contribute and you want things to go well, but they also know that you're respecting their authority and their business enough to seek their direction before you make any changes or do anything differently. And it can't be, oh, I just want to help, because until you ask the person that you're helping how to help, other than what they've already given you, you don't have any authority to do anything different. They haven't asked you to do anything different. So stick to what they gave you to do. And ask them, if you're just one of those people, you just really want to help, then ask them, share with them your idea. Let them know what you're thinking, but always be willing to go back to the thing they asked you to do, the way they asked you to do it. That's how you help us. That's how you help the entrepreneurs, the brave souls who are out there trying to make it on their own. You help us by doing what we ask you to do. So I'm not sure I don't know if that helped you or not. I hope it's helpful. If it's helpful, share the video. I love it when people share videos. And listen, we are all out here and we need each other and we want to make everything work, but we got to be able to work with each other, and we have to respect everyone's role and everyone's position so we can move quickly and gain momentum. So with that, this has been Lunch with Jewel. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.